Hi, I'm Adam and welcome to Studio Allison, brought to you by Allison Transmission and Propulsion Solutions. This is the place where we'll tune in on why and how Allison can make a difference for you, keeping your critical business, fleet, teams, goods or passengers moving day in, day out, year round, when downtime is not an option. Today, we'll explore the world of waste collection and what these great people and their trucks have to endure to keep our streets and cities clean, and how Allison can improve the lives of people on the job. In particular, we'll focus on enhancing the life cycle of the trucks in your fleet, minimising operating costs and electrification. In today's programme, joining us in the studio here are Crispijn Wind and Edgar Lips of Allison Transmission. Hi guys, nice to have you here. And they're going to explain how and where Allison's technology will make a difference, and they'll also provide some interesting insights. Then later on, we'll be showing you a talk I had earlier with Alex Shea, Allison's Chief Commercial Officer of Electrification, about how you can drive cleaner with Allison technology. Right, guys, with refuse vehicles driving up and down hills in narrow city streets with heavy stop-start cycles, I can imagine that durability and reliability of the powertrain are key. I was told that the torque converter and the continuous power technology can make a real difference there. Is that right, Crispijn?
Yeah, that's right. You can see one of our transmissions in front of us here in 3D, including our torque converter. And that's the core of our technology.
Well, it's a real beauty, isn't it? Right. But before we get stuck into the technology, let's take a look at a short video where we can see the refuse trucks in action and how tough the job really is, and why it's important to have the best and most durable equipment on board.
Waste collection is a very heavy-duty application with a demanding duty cycle. When driving your heavy truck through busy city streets or driving through rough terrain, you have to count on your vehicle and your equipment. Collecting household waste means driving from bin to bin, house to house, with a very high degree of start-stop driving, picking up to 1,500 bins a day. Driving a fully automatic transmission will allow for precise maneuvering in residential areas and in narrow city streets, resulting in less damage and more safety. The continuous power to the wheels will enable precise vehicle control when collecting up waste containers and will protect your drivetrain when driving down the road and climbing in hilly and mountainous areas. With a fully automatic, you quickly pick up and go and easily and smoothly cruise with your heavy truck to deliver the load in time every time, when downtime is not an option.
So, heavy-duty stuff, but how does this torque converter actually work?
Well, if we take a look inside this 3D model here, then we can see that the torque converter actually consists of two fans basically. And the one fan is connected to the engine, and that pushes transmission fluid towards the second fan, and that gets the second fan in motion. In between those two fans, there's another small component called a stator, and that actually reverses the oil flow and makes for a second push against the turbine wheel.
All right.
So that makes for a very smooth engine torque multiplication, and that in turn leads to more traction to the wheels, increased performance, and faster acceleration of your vehicle.
Right.
So on top of that, we've got our continuous power technology. And if we take a look at the chart here, then we can see that with an automated manual, AMT, or a manual transmission, you actually have power interrupts at each shift. So the power to the wheels is interrupted.
Yeah.
So we can accomplish more, sometimes even with a smaller engine.
That's correct. Allison transmissions have great benefits for household waste collection. So when you have to have a frequent start-stop, so you go from bin to bin, from house to house, maybe you can imagine how many bins we have to do a day. So that's about 18 or 1,500 bins a day. So that's a lot.
That many?
Yeah,
Right.
correct. And the thing is, it's often in urban and residential areas. So you have frequent start, stop, and all the time you're doing that. So that's very heavy for
Very
your
intensive.
transmission, but also for your powertrain.
Yeah.
The nice thing is, of course, we have our wear-free torque converter in our transmission, but we also have our planetary gear sets where we can make our power shifting happen. The nice thing of power shifting is, of course, that you do not feel the shifts. So the nice thing is you can keep on accelerating, you will not feel it in the cab, but also the
Very
people,
smooth.
Yeah, it's really smooth, but also the guys on the back of the refuse truck, they do not have all the time that shifting.
That sort of jerking motion.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's gone, and that's for these people is very important. The nice thing is we have a very small computer which can make happen these smart shifts. The nice thing of this computer is also that we have easy integration with the refuse packer, so we can do refuse packer step switch for the guys who are in the back of the truck. So that helps to not accelerate fast, so to 15 or 10 kilometers an hour, but they also cannot back up with reverse. So these are very smart controls.
Right. Well, that explains it nicely. Thank you. So, the drivability, low cost of maintenance and comfort for truck users is very clear. Now, looking at tomorrow and further into the future, there's a significant interest and push for refuse trucks to have less emissions, such as CO2 and nitrogen oxides, and to drive more quietly. So the big question is, how will Allison address this trend and need in the market? To get answers to that, I spoke earlier with Alex Shea, Allison's Chief Commercial Officer for Electrification. Here's the discussion we had about how Allison will drive into the future. Welcome, Alex. Glad you could take time to talk to me today and fill us in on the wonders of working towards so many necessary changes for a cleaner future with smart and electrification technology. Can you start by telling me what your role is in all this?
Of course. My name is Alex Shea and I'm proud to serve as Allison's Chief Commercial Officer for Electrification. I got involved with electric vehicles back in 2008, which is pretty prehistoric by the standards of this industry. And that experience led me to co-founding Vantage Power with Toby Schultz back in 2011. And after a roller coaster of a ride, we got acquired by Allison Transmission in April of 2019. Since then, I've worked in my current role with the global set of OEMs that we're proud to serve around the world, ensuring that our products and programs in the electrification space are well matched with their needs and desires.
Right, thank you, Alex, for this introduction. Now, we see everywhere around us that the need for a cleaner and greener world and the journey towards that is accelerating rapidly. To that end, I understand Allison has e-axle solutions for trucks and buses. So what are e-axles exactly?
Of course, an e-axle is very much the same as a conventional axle in that it's designed to support the vehicle and transmit energy to the wheels. The key difference, of course, is that rather than being powered by a big engine and transmission, we fit the equivalent of those components between the wheels. So we have one or two high efficiency, high torque, high power electric motors paired with a 2-speed transmission that very efficiently transfers energy to the wheels.
Okay. So this fully integrated design will be a great benefit to refuse trucks and bodybuilders, but how will it help fleet owners and end users?
3 main ways this will help fleet owners and end users. Firstly, noise. You can tell we're in a pretty noisy city environment right now, and big vehicles are responsible for that in part. Electric vehicles will help bring down the amount of noise, improving the quality of life for city dwellers, and also allowing operators such as refuse collection operators to run their vehicles at times of day that may have been unpalatable in the past. The second is emissions. We're all very conscious, of course, of the air quality, and electric vehicles directly and positively contributes to improved air quality within the city environment as well. And lastly, performance. You imagine you're in the streets of Paris with a heavy load, the back of your truck, you're trying to accelerate uphill. An electric axle allows you to do that without compromising on that top speed or efficiency either.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you, Alex, for your contribution and giving us some very interesting insights about electrification. Nice talking to you. So, Edgar, after talking to Alex earlier today about electrification, I have some additional questions for you with your long experience with refuse applications. Like, if I'm a fleet manager today, do you have any solutions to make my trucks greener and cleaner tomorrow? Because I can imagine fleet managers and truck builders want something now to help achieve the European CO2 reduction targets. Is there any way you guys can help there?
Well, actually, we are just to introduce our XFV technology, which is a new technology which enable you to save fuel, but also to drive cleaner, and that you have lower CO2 emissions. So that will help you a lot. Yeah. At the same time, you can enjoy the benefits of our new componentries, and you can have the latest software.
So
while recouping your investment,
really. Win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win, of course. And while recouping your investment, you can improve the overall total cost of ownership. So that's what the extra is bringing for the end customers. Through Vecto, that's a simulation program which has been developed by the European Commission. We have been calculating that it's about 3.7% which you can save on fuel. So that's about 12 trips around the world, or 3,500 barrels of oil.
Wow. That's impressive. Chris Bine, could you explain how this XFV technology actually works?
Yeah, to put it simply, there are some efficiency losses while driving in lower gears, normally. But with the XFV technology, we've been changing some of the gear ratios inside of our transmission. And that made it possible to apply our lockup clutch of our torque converter already in first gear. So that greatly improves the fuel economy when driving at lower speeds. So of course that's where refuse trucks normally operate.
With their heavy start-stop cycles, yeah.
Right, yeah. So on top of that, there's a small improvement for the gear ratio in top gear, dropping the engine speed to a more efficient range when the trucks would be driving on the highway.
Interesting.
And we've got our FuelSense 2 software also packaged into the XFV technology. So that brings further improvements to fuel economy, coming up to the number that Edgar just mentioned. So my suggestion would be for people buying trucks to ask your truck dealer about XFV technology next time you talk to them.
Sure, great stuff. I had no idea refuse waste collection and powertrain technology could be that exciting. Thank you both for your time. Well, that brings us to the end of this show. Thanks everyone for watching Studio Allison, where today we explored how you can drive your refuse truck cleaner, smoother, and with more power. Till next time, and don't forget to put your bins out.